It's about time this happened. Hello and welcome back to Behind the Wall. So, before 2016, Jeffrey Earnhardt was a name you didn't really hear a lot before his Cup Series Rookie of the Year campaign, which I might add was completely horrible. So after that disaster of a season, Go Fast Racing dumped him and replaced him with Matt DiBenedetto. And thank goodness they did that because Matt DiBenedetto was such a better driver than Jeffrey family tradition kept alive Earnhardt. Yet despite performing worse than Brian Scott in his rookie season, he got a ride with the recently merged Circle Sport and the Motorsports Group. And to top that off, they got sponsorship from Hulu about a third of the way through the season. Yes, Hulu. So that must have been good things for Earnhardt, correct? Wrong! The season was still abysmal, and he was still terrible, even with the equipment that he had. And to top that all off, he was still planning on being signed on the next season. Yeah, he was still going to get a ride, yet somehow Matt Kenseth wasn't. But thankfully, the Circle Sport left, and the Motorsports Group released Jeffrey Earnhardt. But in the process, he lost the Hulu sponsorship. It looked like he was going to join the list of drivers that were left without a ride for 2018, including Landon Castle, Blake Cook, Brennan Poole, and Matt Kenseth. But then, about 2 weeks before the Daytona 500, StarCom Racing gave him a ride in place of Derek Cope. Yeah, Jeffrey Earnhardt got a ride, yet Landon Castle doesn't. What logic does this follow? It's been proven multiple times that Landon Castle is a much better driver than Jeffrey Earnhardt. Incoming rant. And let's be honest, he's only in NASCAR because he's part of the Earnhardt family. Yeah, apparently Dale Earnhardt Jr. wasn't enough to carry on the family legacy. They need a fourth Earnhardt to continue it. Well, newsflash, Jeffrey is tarnishing that legacy. He's taking his rides and equipment and having mechanical failures left, right, and center. He's crashing for no reason, and he's ruining the great legacy left behind by Dale Sr. I think it's very clear that the Earnhardt family needs to leave NASCAR and stop driving before Dale Sr.'s legacy is completely broken by his two sons who are doing absolutely nothing with their rides. But with all that aside, with this new equipment from a team that literally started at the end of 2017, you can assume he improved, right? Well, Daytona was good overall, but anyone can do good at Daytona. It's just a given. His non-restrictor plate races were terrible, with him going many laps down and never finishing above the top 30 once. Once! I understand that this is brand new equipment and all, but Jeffrey still couldn't do anything with it? Derek Cope was doing better in that car. Derek Cope! Thankfully, after StarCom Racing split with Jeffrey Earnhardt, and he's currently a free agent, he split after Fontana. Maybe he could go back to the Xfinity Series and have some fun with those up-and-coming rookies. And then StarCom, being a third team, decided to bring Landon Castle on board to drive Martinsville in Texas. This was a very smart choice to make because Castle is a much better driver than Jeffrey Earnhardt, and I'm sure he can make use of the equipment and get himself a top 20-25 finish in the equipment. I do hope this deal goes through so Castle can have a full-time ride again, and maybe they can use the second yard of field. I don't know, maybe Blake Cook or Brennan Poole. StarCom made a good decision bringing on Landon Castle and dumping Jeffrey Earnhardt, because the way they were running, they were gonna go bankrupt before they ever got any good runs, just trying to put the cars back together and buying new engine parts for Jeffrey Earnhardt. So what about Jeffrey Earnhardt? What ride should he get? He shouldn't get any ride in the Cup Series, that is for sure. He's far too inexperienced for the Cup level. He's doing the best in his equipment, but isn't doing his best. Being an Earnhardt and coming off the mediocre career of Dale Jr., he has a lot to fulfill, and he isn't doing that. However, he can always start at the bottom and work his way back up. Ryan Truex and Brett Moffitt have both successfully restarted their careers after their disastrous Cup Series attempts. But in all honesty, if he still thinks that he can run the Cup Series, then you, sir, are wrong. He's not ready to run the Cup level, and he never was. The Earnhardt family just needs to leave NASCAR before Dale Sr.'s reputation and legacy are shattered. I'm done with the Earnhardt family in NASCAR. I think we can add them to the list of NASCAR's dying dinosaurs, right next to Roush and Richard Childress and Hendrick. Dale Jr. and Jeffrey's Cup careers pale in comparison to Dale Sr., and I'm glad that Dale Jr. is gone, so now the Earnhardt family is just standing on thin ice. Just get out of my sights, Earnhardt!